Good morning everyone. Welcome back to Bishnupriya's chemistry vlogs. In my previous video, I have already discussed about requirement of ISO IC 17025-2017 clause 4, which is general requirement, and why it is needed. What is the document required for general requirement? I have already discussed in my previous video. But today's topic is, today I will discuss about the clause 6, which is resource requirement. So without delay, let's start the topic. What is resource requirement, why it is needed, and is important. Okay. Before going to class, first we have discussed about importance of ISO IC 17025-2017. And the ISO IC 17025 is the standard which contains general requirement for the competency of testing and calibration laboratory. And it is an international standard for testing and calibration laboratory, and it sets out requirement for the competency, impartiality and the consistent operation of the laboratory, which is ensuring the accuracy and reliability of the testing and calibration result. So next we will discuss clause 6, resource requirement. And the clause 6 resource requirement is broken down into 6 sub-clauses. 6.1 is general, 6.2 is personal, 6.3 is facilities and environmental conditions, 6.4 equipment, 6.5 metrological traceability, 6.6 externally provided products and services. So one by one we will discuss. So first we will discuss about 6.1 general resource requirement. Now what is general? That includes the resource requirement which encompasses the personal facilities, equipment, system and support service. The ISO 17025 standards requires all international and external personnel. The ISO 17025-2017 standard requires all internal and external personnel of the laboratory to be competent and have an impartial stance. This includes the personnel who are directly involved in testing and calibration and sampling activity, and also personnel who is indirectly involved like technical personnel. Now come to 6.2 personnel, and 6.2 which is already divided into 6 sub-clauses. So one by one we will discuss about it. 6.2 personnel. Now, to be an ISO IC 17025 accredited lab, all personnel of the laboratory, both internal, that is employee, or external, that is contractors, must be competent and work within the structure of the laboratory management system. And a proper documentation is required for each job function of the laboratory. This includes job description and detailed competence, training, supervision and authorization of laboratory personnel. Laboratory management shall communicate the duty, responsibility and authority to the laboratory personnel through regular meeting and internal meeting or personal performance review. So it is the necessary duty of management to review their personnel's performance. And management also required to communicate their personnel their duty, responsibility and work they are authorized, the work they are authorized to perform. In addition, the lab must have procedure and retain records for determining the competency requirement of, and choosing personnel also is a vital part of the management. Then come to the training of the personnel. Training, under the training section, which is include the supervision of personnel, authorization of personnel, competency of personnel, and the following tasks that the personnel perform need to be authorized by management and in the internal audit. And the development, modification, verification and the validation of method also to be checked by management. And the analysis of result, report, review and authorization of result. Then come to 6.3, which is facility and environmental condition, which is also divided 4 sub-clauses. So one by one we will discuss about. So regarding the ISO 17025 facility and environmental condition, the laboratory needs to be suitable to perform all activity and not affect the validity of result. As a laboratory, the condition must be documented, controlled, monitored and recorded. Laboratory must control the environment of the laboratory to ensure that do not compromise your results. Environmental conditions that could impact your lab includes dust, humidity, electrical supply, temperature and vibration. Laboratory activities area must be also defined, controlled, cleaned and it is separated from area with incompatible laboratory activity to prevent contamination or interference of the activity. And also if any activities are performed outside the laboratory needs to ensure that all of the environmental conditions defined in the standards are also met. Then come to 6.4 which is equipment, which is also divided into 13 sub-clauses. So one by one we will discuss it. 6.4 equipment. So the laboratory shall have access to proper equipment required for the performance of laboratory activity. A documented calibration program also need to establish which includes record for all equipment which can influence the laboratory activity, which includes the handling, transport, storage and use of maintenance of identification of calibration status, which include the non-calibrated and out of service of the equipment should be separated, and tamper resistance program to safeguard unauthorized adjustment that would invalidate the calibration status of the equipment also. Then come to 6.5 metrological traceability, which is also 3 sub-clauses. So one by one we will discuss about it. 6.5 metrological traceability. In ISO 17025:2017, laboratory must establish and maintain a metrological traceability of their measurement results using a documented unbroken chain of calibration and each contributing to measurement of the uncertainty and linking them to an appropriate reference. And the laboratory must provide objective evidence also. And the measurement results need to be traceable, which is traceable to International System of Unit SI in one of these 3 ways. Calibration provided by a competent laboratory and the certified values of all certified reference material provided by a competent producer with stated metrological traceability to the SI, and the direct realization of the SI units ensured by comparison directly or indirectly with national and international standard also. If the measurement cannot be traceable to the SI, the laboratory must demonstrate metrological traceability to an appropriate reference. Then come to class number 6.6, which is externally provided product and services, which is also divided 3 sub-clauses. So now we'll discuss about externally provided product and services, class number 6.6. And ISO 17025:2017, laboratory needs to ensure that only satisfactory externally provided products and services that may or do impact the laboratory activity are used when products and services are intended for incorporation into the laboratory's own activity and are provided directly to the customer by the laboratory, which is received from external provider and are used to support the operation of the personnel which is indirectly involved like technical personnel. So 6.6 externally provided product and services intended for incorporation into the laboratory's own activities are provided directly to the customer by the laboratory and received from the external provider and are used to support the operation of the laboratory. As defined in ISO IC 17025, the laboratory must have a procedure also and to maintain records for this document and defining and reviewing and approving the requirement for externally provided product and services, and in defining the basis for evaluation, selection and monitoring of performance and re-evaluation of the external provider is also be documented, ensuring that externally provided product and services meets the lab requirement. Action arising from evaluation, monitoring or performance of external. The laboratory must also communicate requirement to the external provider also, which include acceptance criteria, competency including any required qualification of personnel, activities that the lab or its customer intends to perform at the external provider premises. So this is all about class 6 resource requirement. If any doubt, you can put your query on my comment box. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe.